Did you know that the simple act of setting boundaries can completely transform your life? It's one of the most powerful tools you can use to protect your energy, your emotions, and your well-being. Yet so many of us struggle with it, fearing we'll disappoint others or seem selfish. But here's the truth. If you want to live a life where you feel empowered, in control, and at peace, you absolutely need to master the art of boundary setting. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded by demands, whether it's from family, work, or society, leaving us with little space for ourselves. And even more, we're often manipulated by toxic behaviors, unhealthy relationships, and the pressure to conform. But what if you could break free from these influences? What if you could stand strong in your values, set clear boundaries, and live with integrity? In this video, we're going to dive into some powerful strategies that will help you identify controlling behaviors, understand how manipulation works, and most importantly, reclaim your autonomy. We'll explore the importance of self-respect, the role of Stoic philosophy in resisting manipulation, and how to safeguard your mental and emotional health. Stay tuned, because this is the kind of knowledge that will not only change the way you view your relationships, but transform the way you live. Let's get started. Number 1. Identifying controlling behaviors and safeguarding your autonomy. Think about the people who surround you in your life, those you trust, those you care for, and even those you might just casually interact with. In all these relationships, the foundation is built on mutual respect and understanding, right? But what happens when one person starts to exert more control than is healthy? At first, it might seem subtle, a well-meaning suggestion, a small favor, an innocent comment about what you should do. But soon, that gentle push begins to feel more like a constant tug. Suddenly, you're questioning your own decisions, unsure if you're doing what you want or what someone else expects of you. It can be unsettling, especially when it's someone you care about. Controlling behavior, while often disguised as concern or love, is something we need to recognize before it's too late. The danger lies in the gradual nature of controlling behavior. It's not always as obvious as someone giving you an ultimatum or shouting orders. It's often a series of small moments, like a friend who constantly criticizes your choices or a partner who decides what's best for you without asking. Over time, these seemingly minor instances add up, creating a power dynamic where you feel less and less in control of your own life. Do you recall a time when you started doubting your decisions or even your ability to make choices for yourself? Maybe it started with a comment like, "I wouldn't do it that way," and slowly turned into, "You should do it like this." These little nudges can chip away at your autonomy without you even realizing it. And before you know it, you're operating on autopilot, doing things for others instead of for yourself. That's how controlling behaviors start, and that's why it's crucial to recognize them early on. It's easy to fall into the trap of pleasing others, especially when they seem to have our best interests at heart. Think back to a time when someone close to you tried to help you by directing your actions or choices, even if their intentions were good. It may have seemed like they were just looking out for you, but there's a fine line between care and control. Often, these controlling behaviors come from a place of insecurity or fear, either on the part of the person trying to control or even on yours for not wanting to rock the boat. You might have felt conflicted during those moments, thinking you should be grateful for their help. But deep down, didn't you also feel that tug on your independence? It's that emotional tug of war, the pull between respecting someone else's wishes and protecting your own sense of self. And sometimes it can feel difficult to draw the line because setting boundaries may feel uncomfortable or even risky. Reflecting on this, think about your life today. Where are you still letting others influence your choices, even in small ways? Maybe there's a family member who always tells you what to do, or a boss who dictates every step of your workday. It's easy to let these things slide, especially when we're busy and don't want to create conflict. But the longer we let controlling behavior go unchecked, the more it can rob us of our autonomy. Ask yourself, when was the last time you made a decision purely for yourself, without worrying about someone else's opinion? Can you remember the freedom of making a choice that was all yours, without fear of judgment? It's that freedom that we need to safeguard, because when we start sacrificing our autonomy for the sake of others, we lose the essence of who we truly are. Number 2, understanding pathological lying and its impact on relationships. We've all been lied to at some point in our lives, whether it was a small white lie or something more serious. And we've probably all lied too at one time or another, out of fear or convenience. But then there are the lies that go beyond simple misstatements or well-meaning fabrications. Pathological lying, those habitual, compulsive lies that twist the truth into something unrecognizable, is a different story entirely. It's not about protecting someone's feelings or avoiding conflict. It's about creating a version of reality that serves the liar's needs, no matter the cost to others. This kind of dishonesty doesn't just hurt the person being lied to, it damages the trust and integrity that relationships are built upon. At first, you might not even notice the signs of pathological lying. The person in your life may appear to be trustworthy, even charming. Their lies are often elaborate, convincing, and tailored to fit the moment. But as these lies accumulate, so do the cracks in the relationship. Over time, you begin to question everything they say. Was that last story even true? And if it wasn't, what else have they been hiding? It's unsettling, especially when the lies seem to serve no real purpose other than to maintain a sense of control or superiority. If you think back to a time when you realized someone was lying to you consistently, how did it feel? That sinking feeling in your stomach, the doubt creeping in, the realization that your trust might have been shattered, it's a painful experience. And what makes it even harder is that pathological liars often don't come clean. They double down, cover up, and manipulate the situation to further their own agenda. This kind of lying takes a toll on relationships. It builds walls between people, creating a distance that's hard to bridge. Trust is the foundation of every meaningful connection we have, whether it's with family, friends, or a partner. When that trust is broken, the relationship starts to crumble. Pathological lying isn't just about a lack of honesty. It's about a deeper issue of control, manipulation, and emotional disregard. The liar often uses deception as a tool to manipulate others into accepting their version of reality, making it harder for those around them to see the truth. And that's when things start to feel distorted, when the lies become so ingrained that they warp your perception of what's real and what's fabricated. Looking back, think about the most important relationships in your life. Have you ever encountered a situation where the truth was stretched or manipulated to serve someone's purpose? Maybe you've had a friend who made promises they never kept, or a partner who constantly told you stories that didn't add up. You might have ignored those small red flags at first, hoping it was just a misunderstanding. But over time, the pieces didn't fit together, and you began to feel the weight of those lies. Pathological lying doesn't just affect the person who is lying, it affects everyone in their orbit, creating confusion, mistrust, and emotional exhaustion. As you reflect on your relationships today, consider: do you have someone in your life who has a pattern of dishonesty? How does it make you feel? Are there moments when you find yourself questioning their words or actions? It's essential to recognize this behavior before it goes too far. Pathological liars are experts at manipulation, and it's easy to get caught up in their web. But when you acknowledge the lies and the damage they cause, you can take steps to protect yourself and your emotional health. Trust is a precious commodity, and once it's broken, it can be incredibly difficult to rebuild. Number 3. The role of Stoic philosophy in resisting manipulation. Now let's explore a powerful tool for emotional resilience: Stoic philosophy. Imagine a moment when you were faced with a challenging situation, something that could have thrown you off balance emotionally. Maybe it was a conflict with a friend, a difficult conversation at work, or an unexpected setback in your life plans. How did you handle it? Did you react impulsively, or did you take a step back and assess the situation calmly? The Stoics believed in using rational thought and emotional discipline to navigate life's challenges. Instead of reacting to the emotional turbulence of the moment, they taught us to step back and evaluate the situation objectively. At its core, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. Think about how often we get caught up in situations that are outside our control: other people's behavior, external circumstances, or the actions of those around us. How often do you find yourself trying to change something or someone that's simply out of your hands? Stoicism encourages us to focus inward on our own responses and attitudes. This approach doesn't mean suppressing our emotions or ignoring the feelings of others. Rather, it's about cultivating a mindset where we can choose our reactions thoughtfully without being manipulated by the whims of others. Reflect on a time when someone tried to manipulate you emotionally. Maybe they played on your fears or used guilt to get their way. How did it make you feel? Did you feel like you had no choice but to comply? Now, imagine being able to step back in that moment, take a deep breath, and respond from a place of inner calm. That's what Stoicism teaches us to do. It's about acknowledging the emotions you're feeling, but not letting them dictate your actions. It's about maintaining your peace, no matter the storm around you. When you cultivate this mindset, you begin to see manipulation for what it truly is: an attempt to control you by playing on your emotions. And once you recognize it, you can resist it. As you think about your life today, consider: how often do you find yourself caught up in situations where others are trying to manipulate your emotions or decisions? It might be in a friendship, a romantic relationship, or even in the workplace. The beauty of Stoicism is that it gives you the tools to resist manipulation with a calm, measured approach. You learn to stay grounded, to focus on your own responses, and to let go of the need to control others. Number 4. Setting and maintaining healthy boundaries for well-being. Have you ever been in a situation where someone asked you for more than you were comfortable giving? At first, it might have seemed innocent, a simple request. Maybe it was a favor, your time or your energy. But over time, those requests piled up, and suddenly you realized you were stretched too thin. You felt drained, overwhelmed, and maybe even resentful. That's when you realize the importance of boundaries, the invisible lines that protect your time, your energy, and your well-being. Setting healthy boundaries is an essential skill for maintaining emotional and mental balance. It's not about being harsh or saying no for the sake of it. It's about protecting your space, your time, and your emotions. For many of us, the idea of setting boundaries feels uncomfortable. We don't want to disappoint others or seem selfish, so we say yes even when we should say no. But this approach only leads to burnout, stress, and resentment. Can you remember a time when you felt overwhelmed, unable to say no, and the situation only worsened the longer you let it go? It might have been a colleague demanding your help, a friend constantly needing emotional support, or a family member expecting too much from you. All these situations can drain you if you don't have the strength to set clear, respectful boundaries. But here's the catch. Setting boundaries isn't about cutting people off or being unkind. It's about creating healthy limits so that you can give your best without losing yourself in the process. Think back to a time when you successfully set a boundary. Perhaps you told a friend that you needed time for yourself, or you politely declined a request that was too much for you. How did it feel? At first, it might have been difficult, but once you honored your own needs, there was probably a sense of relief, of regaining control over your life. It's through these moments of setting boundaries that we reclaim our autonomy and protect our mental health. Looking at your life today, how many boundaries have you set? Are there people or situations where you need to establish stronger limits? It's easy to get caught up in the needs of others, especially when we care deeply about them. But the truth is, we can't pour from an empty cup. The more we honor our own needs and boundaries, the more we're able to show up for the people we love in a healthy way. And it's not just about saying no to others, it's about saying yes to yourself, to your well-being, and to your peace of mind. Remember, boundaries are not walls. They are the gates we can open and close to protect ourselves from emotional exhaustion, manipulation, and overextending our energy. By learning to set and maintain these boundaries, we create space for ourselves to thrive and live authentically. Number 5. The power of self-respect and integrity in overcoming toxic influences. Now, think about the moments in your life when you felt truly proud of yourself. Maybe it was when you stood up for your values, even when it wasn't easy, or when you made a choice that aligned with your true self, despite external pressure to go a different way. Those moments of self-respect, when you honor your own integrity and stay true to your values, are some of the most powerful actions you can take to protect yourself from toxic influences. When we talk about toxic influences, we're not just referring to toxic people, but also toxic environments, habits, or thought patterns that can subtly creep into our lives. These influences often thrive when we lose sight of our own self-worth, or when we allow others to dictate how we should feel or behave. The power of self-respect comes from understanding who we are and refusing to let anyone or anything compromise our sense of self. It's easy to get lost in the noise of society, in the expectations of family, friends, and peers, and forget what matters most to us. But the truth is, self-respect is the foundation that keeps us grounded. It's the inner strength that tells us, I deserve to be treated with kindness, dignity, and respect. Without it, we open the door for toxic influences to seep into our lives and erode our well-being. Think about a time when someone tried to manipulate you into doing something that didn't feel right. Maybe they questioned your judgment, undermined your confidence, or made you doubt your own values. How did that make you feel? In those moments, it's easy to give in, to question yourself, or to silence your inner voice in order to avoid conflict. But that's where self-respect plays a crucial role. When we value ourselves, when we hold ourselves to the highest standard of integrity, we become less susceptible to the toxicity around us. Self-respect means standing firm in our beliefs, regardless of the pressure or negativity that may come from others. In today's world, where social media and constant comparison can make us feel like we're not enough, practicing self-respect is more important than ever. It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of validation, approval, or material success, but these are fleeting. True self-respect comes from within, from knowing that we are worthy simply because we exist. It's not dependent on external achievements or others' opinions of us. Think about how it feels when you make a choice based on what you believe is right, even if it's not the most popular or accepted choice. There's a deep sense of satisfaction that comes with living authentically, staying true to your principles, and knowing that you've respected yourself. Reflecting on your own life today, how much self-respect do you carry in your interactions and choices? Are you allowing toxic influences to shape your decisions? Self-respect is not about arrogance or pride. It's about the quiet confidence that comes with knowing your worth. It's about trusting yourself enough to say no when necessary, to stand up for your values, and to refuse to compromise your integrity for anyone or anything. This is the power that helps us overcome the toxic influences in our lives and create a space for our own personal growth, well-being, and happiness. If you've made it this far, drop 100 in the comments to show you're part of the 0.01% who actually stick with it and finish what they start. That's a rare and valuable trait, and I hope this video has given you the insights and tools to create stronger boundaries and protect your autonomy. If you're serious about transforming your life and learning more about how to build lasting emotional resilience, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our community. We're all here to grow, and together we can navigate life's challenges with more strength and clarity. Remember, it all starts with you. Your peace, your integrity, and your growth are worth protecting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.